What's going on, everybody? My name's Kirby Downey. And that was Jonny Harrison on mute.
Nice job, Kirby.
Yeah, I tried. And welcome to episode 51 of the Core Podcast. 51. We just passed 50. That last.
Wrecked it.
Nothing broke.
Yep.
That last episode was a lot of good fun, and tonight's gonna be good fun as well. We've got Matthew Hall with us. He's one of the online community managers at Dassault Systems. If I'm not mistaken. That's what your LinkedIn says. You're like a ninja online though.
Oh, he's been having a little LinkedIn stalk.
Yeah, good LinkedIn stalk is always good. Yep. So hello, thanks for having me. You can hear me fine and everything, right?
Yeah, we can hear you all
good.
Right,
awesome. Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, Matthew.
Officially, I'm the digital communities manager for Solidworks at Dassault Systems.
There we go. Do you want to tell everybody more about what you do with SolidWorks and that? We seem to have a lot of SolidWorks staff joining us, which is quite fun. It's exciting when people get to kind of pick the brains of the people that make the tools that they use every day. Yeah.
So, well, to be upfront and totally transparent, I mean, I am not like you guys at all. I'm not a SolidWorks technical guru expert. I am more.
Neither are we.
We're not either. No.
I'm more on the side of the digital communities expertise. So, I've been involved with our communities ever since I joined Dassault Systems about just over 10 years ago. So I've been in and out of the role. I've managed other brands' communities in the past. But at this point, for the last year and a half or so, I joined to help with the migration from an older legacy forum. And brought it into our 3D Swim, 3D Experience Platform universe, because I had the expertise there, the relations in place with R&D teams, different people to help facilitate that along as best as possible. So, and that's on a daily basis, monitoring the communities, making sure that we have engagement continue, like any online community. We want to make sure we got content flowing in there, that there's people aren't having issues connecting. That there's not, unwanted garbage coming into the community that we don't want, and try to manage as best as possible, as well as we did a big migration, like I said, and was it everything that everyone possibly dreamed of? Probably not, but hey, we're like Jean Paulo said, at the outset of the migration, we can control our own destiny now, so that's brings a great responsibility with that great power. But we've been listening to the users a lot as what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and developing those relations and getting that communication flow into the ears of R&D. So we've seen a lot of good progress made, and I think it's having all our SolidWorks users into having a place where they can come to inside of our the 3D Experience platform with our 3D Swim app is bringing a lot of it's sped up the change, because change is always not as fast as we would like it, but it's helping expedite it along.
Yes, I mean, I think SolidWorks has a very good tight knit community, but not so tight that they don't let any new people in. They welcome
it's approachable.
They welcome all new people with open arms, and within a couple of hours you feel like you're part of it. And got Todd Blackshirt joining us for tonight. How you doing, Blood?
Yeah, I mean, you guys let me in, so to say. I mean, I just met you. What was it, 4 weeks ago or so? First time meeting face to face in the UK, and my
first time meeting.
Yes. Yeah. So it was my first post-COVID international trip, so it was a blast, especially going to a place I'd never been to before. So that was Warrington. That was very, very nice setting and everything. So it was great to experience that on the behalf of Dan Wagner, who had just
it would have been fun for both of you to be there, but Dan had some family commitments. How did you enjoy the rest of your trip after Warrington? A little background, because this was straight after our last episode. Myself and Jonny went up north to run the regional SolidWorks user group meeting. Got surprised by Joe Lyons. And it was a very, very good, successful meeting. Everybody had a good time. And we didn't have a hangover, Jonny. It was great. Betty Baker's joined us. How you doing, Betty? Hope you're enjoying your water. I know she's drinking water straight off.
No asking required.
But yeah, then that's where we met Matthew Hall. He came down, represented the community side of things. Because you're kind of in the area, France, not too far.
Yes.
And you went down to London. How was your trip down to London?
It was great. I mean, overall, we had one day of bad weather, and it was the day that we were inside. If I could make a verb out of it, commuting, if that's a real word. But that's where all inside having all the presentations, and so it worked out great because that next day we woke up without a hangover, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and it stayed that way for the rest of the weekend. And it was my first time in London, so I was totally jazzed because it was, I've been a lifelong Sherlock Holmes fan. I've read the books probably several times, and so I had to get into London and see a few of the sights and visit Baker Street. So that evening after we left each other, I think we said goodbye at the train station there. Trained in and got settled, and I just stayed at an Airbnb just a couple blocks away from what's the station. I can't remember the station now, but anyways, it was close to Baker Street. It was a short walk, a few blocks
probably
away.
Paddington or
no, it
King's
wasn't Paddington. I had because I had to take a train on Sunday from there to Paddington to catch the Heathrow Express. But yeah. So I walked past Baker Street that evening, spent the evening with a former colleague who's since retired, and we enjoyed the British Museum for a couple hours that evening because they're open late on Friday evenings, and saw the Elgins, the Greek stuff that they don't want to return to Greece. So Theodore probably would not been too happy if he was there, but the other guy that was up at our Warrington meeting.
I mean, if you think about it, like a lot of these, especially like the British Museum has a lot of like Egyptian art and all that, art from all around the world. But like back in the day, like probably less than 100 years ago, that was the only way people really got to experience other cultures, and experience other parts of the world. But now world travel's so easy.
Yep.
And going online and researching and looking at these kind of places, museums don't have that same kind of impact as they do now. Like if you want to go see Greek history, it's, you can go to Greece yourself for, within half a day and you're there.
Yeah. And you're there. Yeah. And maybe we complain that, we're stuck on a tarmac for a few hours, but, compared to people schlepping across on horses and buggies or, rickety trains, it's nothing. So, yes. So it was a great visit to the museum, and across the street when we left, there was a nice restaurant that had, I had to eat anything that was had the word pie in it. So like we found a very, it was undoubtedly a tourist trap, but, they had all the signs saying, we got this pie, that pie, And so I was like, okay, we're going to be eating British food. So I skipped the sushi this time around. But and then Saturday, I stuck around that Baker Street area. Went to the museum. It's a little, it's a tourist trap. But I thought if I don't go in, I'm going to regret it for my life because I'm such a fan. So I went into paid the £18 or whatever it is to get in there. Spent maybe a couple hours between the actual museum at 221B and the gift shop. So, and then that afternoon, I just kind of went around town. I was going to get one of those like the open bus tours, but it was a beautiful day, but it was a little chilly. I figured I'd probably just catch a cold, which I didn't want to because I was already having a little cough. So I just rode. I got a day pass and rode a double-decker bus. If I got on a bus to go from point A to B, I'd just go upstairs just for the view. But this was the weekend right after the Queen's funeral, and I had never seen a city so crazy crowded. I don't know if London's always like that, or if it was just with the Queen's passing.
No. Like it'll be busy like that around the holidays again.
It was just crazy. And I've spent time. I used to live in some background on me. I used to live in Japan for about 5.5 years, and I've been in Tokyo a number of times, which is still the world's biggest city, but crowded like crazy. But it's like I was in London, like this is nuts. Maybe just because I wasn't expecting it. I don't know. But it was exceptionally packed. I went to Soho to experience that, but it was like there was people everywhere and pouring out of pubs, excuse me, and drinking, and everyone was having a great time, but it was just like, streets weren't closed off, so cars were trying to navigate around people drinking their beers, and like, oh,
I mean, that could have been why it felt a lot more crowded, because the city is so tightly packed, the streets are so narrow, and there's no way to make it bigger. So what, like in a street in New York, I was walking down one of them, and because it's such a straight road, you could see for miles, and there were just so many lanes and just such wide crosswalks, pavements. There was just so much room, so it was busy, but it didn't feel crowded. Whereas London is, you got pavements that have space for 3 people next to each other,
maybe,
and that's about it. And then you're stepping out in the traffic, trying to move around crowds and that, and it's quite exciting. Keeps you on your toes, especially at night.
So it was a fun visit. Loved it. The mishmash of architecture, the history. I'm also an ancient Roman fan, so there was in some Bloomberg building, there's an ancient down like at the original level of London. There's like an ancient what would they call it? A temple, Mytharium, I think. So I went down there, and they had it's pretty neat. They've done some it was augmented reality, and they had ruins, and then they would send in this mist and project images to recreate what it looked like. So it was pretty cool. It was free. You just had to reserve online. So I did it the day before.
Yeah.
So it was nice. Yep. Easy peasy. So
we got Michael Lord all the way from Australia.
Down under. Good luck. I guess good morning, Michael.
Yeah. You know what, Mike? Johnny's got a new mic, so he should sound a lot more crispy.
A lot more Johnny. Thank you.
Todd can't wait to head back in London. Let me know when you're here, and we'll go hang out, Todd.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good spot to find out what we're all drinking tonight. I'm going to play my little jingle, our little jingle.
The little jingle.
We'll talk about what we're drinking. Bing. What are they drinking? I think I timed it right this time, Johnny.
Oh, we even put the jazz on.
Oh, we got the jazz music.
So we'll start with our guest, Matthew. I know you got something funky that you're busy drinking.
Yes, let's hold up because I get this. I don't agree. So it's called whatever. It's Bitburger. My wife wanted me to try it out. It's a German brewed beer. There's a lemon on it, so I'm guessing it's probably a little on the fruity side. I usually drink double IPAs, but I'm open to change and try something different.
IPAs are good. I much prefer them than lagers or helles or anything like that.
Yeah, so I'll give it a try.
Jonathan, what are you drinking?
Kirby. I'm just trying to figure out what one of these is.
Is it one of those craft beers with just pictures?
Oh, yeah. But the first one, which I brought for this evening, is a Winding Path Pilsner.
Oh.
Which it's not too bad so far. And then the second one, I don't know, but it's got a woman on the can, so...
Must be good.
Came straight out.
Oh, Visser. That's I think that's a German style beer, Visser.
Yeah, it's out of my German. It's German month this month.
I was in Germany last week, so this all counts.
Oh, you should be telling me what this is.
That's why I recognize it, because I'm sure I saw it in one of the bars.
Oh, here we go. Kirby, what have you got? I heard
Weiss. Weiss. That's white, so that'll be a white beer. Visser, I think. Johnny, you were saying.
I think that you're going to have some sort of spirit because I heard a bottle unscrewing earlier.
Can you guess, Johnny?
Jack Daniels and Coke.
But not any Jack Daniels. I've got the...
Oh, he's got the new one there.
I've got the... What's it? Bottled in Bond 100% proof Jack Daniels, the new bottle.
Ooh.
It's a sour mash. It's a sour mash version of their whiskey.
Sounds like a sick day for you.
No, I'm gonna take my time with this, because you cannot get this in the UK. I had to buy this in the airport.
Mm.
Cheap.
Sounds a little deadly.
Todd's got your drink in the chat, Kirby, straight off the bat.
Todd, you enjoying? Yeah, those of you that are at home, what are you guys drinking while you're watching us? We already know that Betty's on the H2O. I really hope Michael's on something really hard because it's really early.
Michael's Australian to be on a can of 4X with his Frosties. I only say 4X because I know he hates it with a passion.
I think the only people that enjoy 4X is the foreigners. And the tourists. Like, I don't know of any Australian that enjoys 4X.
They're usually in a ditch if they do.
Have you ever been to Australia, Matthew?
No, I have not, unfortunately. Actually, the other day I was just looking at my Google Maps history, and everything is above the equator. I've never been south of the equator.
Sounds like you've got a trip planned.
Yes.
Australia is good fun, and it's really big.
Yes.
Like,
It's big.
America is big. But America has a lot of cities and a lot of things going on, where Australia is big with like nothing in the middle.
It's like all around the edge, right?
Yeah, the middle's just a big empty mass of nothing.
Yeah, it's quite...
Scrub brush.
I don't know if you've ever seen how Australia looks like a cat and a dog.
No.
I'll have to get that image.
See, our guest Kirby is now thinking they seemed a lot more intelligent last time.
I mean, settle down. Forex is a Queensland's thing.
Like cane toads.
I mean, I'll be in that side pretty soon. Where's my...
I've been encouraging Dan. He should look into a swug meeting like down under.
Dan needs to get over here first. We got to figure out a way to get him.
There we go. Australia's just a dog and a cat.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Where the cat's eating Tanzania.
Eating something.
I cannot look at Australia in the same way because of that.
Or throwing up a hairball.
Yeah, that'll be it. Perfect.
How would you rate the British transport system since you've been to Japan and you lived in Japan a long time? Well, for a few years.
Yes. It's for me the gold star is Japan's because I mean it's just so darn efficient. The British one was definitely miles or kilometers depending ahead of Amtrak that we have in the U.S. Amtrak's kind of something else, but I thought it was the train ride and everything was clean and comfortable. The Wi-Fi was spotty. I love to test the Wi-Fi. I just came back from another visit to the headquarters last week, and on the way back, I was connecting on the platform via the airplane Wi-Fi, and it was better than the train Wi-Fi up to Warrington, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your view. And
the train Wi-Fi's are not very, very good, and
most of the public Wi-Fi is not very good.
Yeah. And when we departed each other on that Friday, I had a booked seat and everything, and I got on the train in my car and looked at my seat, and there was some older couple sitting in it, and it's like, well, I could say that's my seat, but it's like whatever. There was some other empty seats in the back I just sat in, so I didn't understand why someone was in my declared seat.
Yeah, people here just chance it.
Yeah, like quite often, if you just say to them, "Sorry, that's my seat," and they show you, they'll move. But like I've been in a train that's like if a train has been cancelled, everybody that was supposed to get on that train will then try and get on the next one, and I've been in trains where I've had to sit in the corridor because it's like a 4-hour train.
I did our first UK regional event all the way home from Cambridge. I was sat on the floor for 4.5 hours.
I was really lucky. The train that I got on from Warrington was really busy, and I just took the first seat that was right by the first seat I saw. I just sat down. I'm like, man, I'm sitting here. He got off at the next station, which was like 5 minutes away, and then from that station was just one trip all the way back to Paddington, which means that I had 2 seats to myself. It was great.
Nice, yeah.
I felt like I lucked out on that one.
Yeah, essentially the trains were all on time, which was great, which is important. I know when I first arrived, I took the Eurostar from France into the UK the day before, so the event, and that was all fine. But then when I got to the station to come up to Warrington, what was that one? Euston, I think. I forget what the departure.
Yeah, I think it was Euston. I think
Euston, yeah. I mean, I went to the platform where the train was supposed to be, and it was like there was nothing there. And I had my ticket bought. I went back to some info desk, and like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that train doesn't exist." I'm like, "Huh?" It's like, just wait and look at the board. They'll post a replacement train eventually. And I was just like scratching. So there's just a ton of people just standing and staring, looking at the board, which was kind of weird.
I always love watching that because everybody's just blindly staring at the screen, and then like a time pops up or a platform pops up, and everybody's just like. And they just all walk in unison. And then
there's
a couple of more people.
People just they all just went down to the platform. Like, okay, get in this line. Here we go. But no.
Yeah, the British love a queue.
They love the queues. Queues and CCTVs.
Yeah.
They're always watching.
No, I was watching. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to get to Japan, it's like you can plan a whole trip out. Everything is 99 point something% they're on time. You can plan a trip to even say, okay, you don't even have to pack food because you can, like, if you're going 6 hours or something, you can figure out where the train will stop, how long it will stop. You can jump off the train, grab food because they have kiosks off it at the platform.
Yeah,
just buy something, and that door is going to close at 7 minutes after the hour, so you have up to that moment to grab it and get back on the train. So it's very efficient and a wonderful way to get around the country.
I mean, we're heading into autumn, so we're going to get a lot of train delays now because leaves on the track.
Yeah, them damn slippy leaves.
I think that even the trains get delayed when the sun is too low at some points, and they like shine off the track, so they delay the trains because of that. So here in the UK, all swans are protected. I don't know how that's going to change, but all swans were protected under the Queen. They belong to the Queen.
Okay.
Which means if you hurt or killed a swan, you can be arrested.
Off with your head.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I was on a train once, and it was delayed because there was a swan on the tracks. And because the swans were protected, they couldn't just like wrestle it and take it off. So you just watch these train guys just kind of like, come on, shush, just trying to shoot off the tracks.
Move along.
But yeah, like the swans have delayed traffic and that.
Will it stay that way, or does King Charles have a different
leaves on the track? Yes, they'll stop the trains because there are leaves on the tracks. I don't know how that's all going to work.
What his stance on swans?
What is his stance? But yeah, I would really like to go to Japan. I mean, I really like kind of some anime and Pokemon, and I love myself some sushi. I just want to go and experience that kind of high tech culture, that efficiency.
Yep. It's very efficient. I mean, I went there years ago. I thought going over there, everyone, would have a computer. This is, even before the whole mobile age. I thought every house gonna have a computer, but I was surprised that they don't. With their efficiency. I mean, they have very efficient processes and ways of doing things, but often it was like, okay, it's efficient for maybe the mid 1900s. And it was, still very hand and written and stamped versus electronic flows. And, they've made progress as they've improved, but I still come across some things where they want, they won't accept, like if I was to submit a receipt for something, I'm part of a nonprofit group to support some things in Japan. And if I have to submit an expense, I got to actually mail my physical copy of the receipt into them. I just can't scan it and send it to them. It's like,
oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, for us, we just take a drunken photo of it in the bar and hope that you can see it clearly enough.
As long as the big number at the bottom is clear, you're all right.
It's a big number. Yeah. So, but to the anime stuff, I mean, in Tokyo, there's Harajuku. You dress up however you want, and you're just going to blend in. You're not going to stick out at all. I mean, you'll see the girls dressed up like the anime characters and guys dressed up in weird stuff. And I mean, weird to me. I'm not a big anime fan. I watched some what's his name? What's the films? The famous Studio Ghibli stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed that. You know, like Totoro and those various movies.
Yeah.
But the other anime stuff, books or manga, cartoons, I don't really watch it too much. But if that's your thing, go to Harajuku in Tokyo.
Yeah, for me, it's mostly Pokemon, bit of Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, like the mainstream type of animes. I mean, I actually saw today that Crocs is doing a partnership with Pokemon, and I've never wanted Crocs so much. Like, I really wanted Crocs, but now I really want Crocs.
You needed that excuse, didn't you, Kirby? Go on.
I mean, in fact, I'm actually wearing a Pokemon shirt now, so I mean, I'll blend in so well. I mean, like, I'm someone with a lot of tattoos, and I know there's kind of a bit of a taboo still there with tattoos in Japan.
Depends where you go. If you try to go to the hot springs and bathe, yeah, there's a number of them that won't let you in just because you have tattoos. But again,
that's just because of the affiliation. Yeah, tattoos mean like Yakuza type of thing.
Yeah, it's the mafia, but whatever. My daughter had that problem a few years ago because she has one of the Studio Ghibli characters on this shoulder, then like what's the Iron Giant or the robot thing on another one, and they were trying to stop her from going into the onsen or the hot spring, but they sell these patches you could just put on there just to cover it up. But
okay, so they are accommodating for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And there's a few of them probably just don't care. But I know you had more tattoos on you than say my daughter.
I've got like a pirate ship. I've got a Pokeball, and I've got the Simpsons at my arm. So
you're gonna need some big patches.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around in a long sleeve. Did you go to Japan knowing Japanese, or did you learn it on your way?
I studied it in college. I took an interest in Japan in college, because I am a Bachelor of Arts by education, but here I am now working in a big tech company. But yeah, so life's twisted.
You made it. You were a successful Bachelor of Arts.
Yes, I made it. So I got to put food on the table, or food in my belly, so I got to do something. And yeah, so I had an interest in Japan. I studied 2 semesters my senior year at college, and then I went over there and I learned how they really speak. And it's different than studying it from a book. And so I would say I'm conversationally fluent in Japanese. And if my wife yells at me in Japanese, I know what she's saying. I get the point pretty quickly. So.
Did you ever have like? It happens to like my uncle and that, who can speak quite a lot of the African languages in South Africa, and like they often hear them speaking about him or about people. Were you able to like really shock some people?
Oh yeah, it's kind of funny because I'll go over there and I can speak enough to, like I said, to be conversational, and I'll say something in Japanese and people look at me because like I'm probably like this much taller than they are, and I'm a little on the white side. So they get confused because like there's this foreigner, but why is Japanese coming out of his mouth? And they feel compelled to try to speak or answer me in English. And I'm like, I'm speaking Japanese. It's okay. So
my old housemate, he did 6 months in China with a couple of his friends, and one of his friends is from Asian descent and born in Scotland, but doesn't really speak Chinese, but has a full Scottish accent. And when he went to China, they could not understand this. Like, they really struggle to kind of comprehend it. Brad, it sounds like we all got to end up in Japan. We should all just rock up in Japan, and maybe, Dan, we'll get Dan to arrange a Swuggen, the next Slug Me event in Japan.
I was going to say, there's got to be a user group.
And then we all go across there.
Yeah. In mid-November, they are having, Japan, for whatever reasons, they have their own 3D experience world.
Yeah, did you know that, Johnny? Japan has their own 3D experience world.
Something about it.
Yeah, so it'll be November 14th. I think it's just a one-day event. It'll be a hybrid event. And so I forget. They're looking to get several, they're hoping to get as many as they can live. maybe a couple of 2,000 to 3,000 live or so. I'm forgetting their goals or their targets, but it'll be a hybrid event. Like ours will be in February, but yeah, they have their own event.
Do they need a podcast?
Matthew, you can come and like translate and help us.
Yeah, you can come and translate for us, Matt. It'll be good.
We could share sake there, drink the sake.
Oh yeah, we're up for that.
Sake at all.
That would be a bit of sushi and sake will be lethal. But good crack.
Yes. So
I see that 3D Experience World hallway hangouts from Japan. You know what that?
It's got a ring to it.
Like I need to write this down. What was the area of that anime area?
Oh, I can just put it in the chat here, or can I enter stuff in the chat?
I think you can.
All right. I don't see the.
If not, you've been in the private chat. I can. Or Johnny can post it. Imagine us just setting up with a laptop and just sitting down and just talking. And we won't be the weirdest thing there.
Of course not.
Well, maybe second.
No, there's a place I'll have to get it with you or get it to you. There's a place like there's a robot restaurant and it's all like disco lights and all this crazy stuff, and they have robots and they mix in dancing and performing while you're eating, and robots will come serve you stuff. It's some crazy place that I'll have to dig up the video and post it like in the champions or the Swoyan swim there, but it is totally wild. And I wasn't there. I mean, I don't know if it's my thing, but a friend of ours went there and told me all about it. It is crazy.
Harajuku, Sydney.
I
don't know. That was one of the options.
Yeah. Okay.
But let's look at some images. Images. There we go. Oh, this looks like they've got a McDonald's at least, so this looks incredible, Johnny.
Tick Kirby's box.
So my nephew in Australia chose Japanese as his second language. That looks amazing. So his kind of homework is watching anime and just Japanese culture. So I want to go across there to Japan and go hang out.
And I'll give you this link to I found the robot place.
That looks absolutely wild. See, when I think of Japan, this is kind of the image, this bright neons, dark streets.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was when I first got there. I was waiting. We first arrived. We were in Tokyo for a few days. I was hoping for a rainy night because all I wanted to do was go to Shinjuku, which is the western side of the core part of Tokyo, and where you could do a core podcast. And they have a lot of skyscrapers and all that neon stuff. I just wanted to live Blade Runner, because that's if you remember Blade Runner, the original one with Harrison Ford, that's just what it's like. It's built on Shinjuku. That's on the western part of town.
This is like so bright and colorful. Let me share my screen.
My eyes.
My eyes.
So it's Robot Restaurant, the most insane show. It closed in March 2020, and it's unclear whether it will reopen.
Maybe it's
bummer.
Impact.
It's like a glitter factory exploded, and the explosion was so loud and violent that it caused the unicorn to vomit rainbows all over the walls.
It's very bright.
The projectile rainbow vomit struck the lighting technician, and he lurched forward in disgust into the brightness dial, turning the various colored lights up to 11 where it got stuck. 11. And despite their best efforts, they've never been able to reduce the retina burning levels of discordant electromagnetic waveforms.
Scroll further, it gets brighter.
There is a disco ball
on the page, or you can go to YouTube and probably see videos, but it's wild.
There is also a bar.
No,
we're there.
Oh, I need to read this article. I'm going to post this article in the chat because it's a funny article.
You've not even got to the brightest part.
The brightest part?
Oh, dude, you've not seen anything yet.
Lasers! Oh, this looks like the wildest place.
Wow.
I think he said there was a video.
Oh, I could put, there's one I'll just put from into the chat. There's some on YouTube. You can share that. Yep.
Let you not watch some ads. Although it is an ad about Lego, so maybe.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it's closed. That's too bad. I don't know how old that article is or what's the current status.
It's just a list of things. But I see 3D Experience World is now opened up call for papers.
Yes, and you have until, I think, Friday. If you have a paper you want to submit, get it in there.
That was quick. Shit.
Dude, it did open a few weeks back.
I didn't get an email or anything.
It's clearly not been on the platform.
I know I posted...
2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago I posted about it because I missed it. I saw something last week when I was traveling, and registration's up as well. And I saw that I think it's been open for a few weeks. But yeah, so you have until Friday. But if there's something super duper, maybe there could be something worked out if we have to extend something. But I can't commit to that. I could try to, advocate for you.
Yeah,
that's my job. I'm a user advocate.
I must also register because my presentation got accepted last year, so I'm sure it'll get accepted again.
Of course.
I must register as well.
Yep, and it will be hybrid, but it'll just be great if you can get there. I know it could be tough for people, but at this point we are looking forward to the live event, and we're already prepping for it.
Did you go to Nashville?
No, I did not.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never experienced it. So, I joined the brand in June of 2020. So, and then, last year it was all virtual, unfortunately. I was due to go, but we went virtual for, the obvious reasons. But we're looking forward to it being there in February.
Oh, it's completely, like Jonny and I really tried. Wow. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was. We didn't expect Nashville to be as good as it was, did we?
Basically, what I expect this is what is my experience of Nashville. Like I didn't expect much. Like when you said it's a robot bar, and then you showed me this.
Yeah.
This was Jonny and I's experience of Nashville.
The equivalent.
Lasers and music. Elaine's band. So there you go.
Oh, he's having a great time.
Yeah, so it'll be great to be there and see people because digitally it's always fun and everything, but it's just so much better. That was reinforced when I had the chance to go up to Warrington. So
yeah, and Brad says Nashville was a fun city. Nashville was awesome.
Oh,
I think it's
never
like
been there.
The first world I went to was Los Angeles. I went there for both years that it was there, and that was a lot of fun. But it was kind of like the city had so much other things to kind of distract you, and you're kind of like, well, I want to go see this, I want to do that. And I feel like Nashville was a lot like Dallas, where there's nothing much around than the convention and just the cool places to go.
And some bars.
So, I really like it when they go to those smaller cities, those unexpected cities. Like I was looking forward to Atlanta because all I knew about Atlanta was the Olympic Park. That was it. And that's how we went into Nashville. Was we just knew Jack Daniels was 40-minute drive away. That was it.
We didn't research a lot, did we? Let's be honest. But we got such a good surprise. It was great.
Well, good.
Like, we saw a photo that Luke had posted, and he mentioned about, Broadway is so great, all the neon lights, and we're just like, that looks cool. Until we turned into the street. Have you been to Nashville before? I think you said you have.
No, I have never been there. I've been close, but never been there. So I am looking forward to it, and probably we'll see Joe Lance there.
Yeah, he pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
He, at this point, he can literally pop up anywhere in the world right now. And what I'm saying here is Joe Lance.
Yeah, I was going to say, he walked in the door.
He's in my studio. Yeah, so no, I've never been there, so I'm looking forward to getting there and having the opportunity. So we'll see what kind of events we have, around the community, and we'll make sure that everyone gets connected, and it'll be fun to meet people face to face. I mean, we have
Johnny and I need to start planning what we're going to be doing, because we're going to be doing hallway hangouts, but in real life, which is kind of weird to think about, because
it'll be fine.
The podcast has always been a pandemic thing.
And you'll be doing podcasts from there?
That's the plan.
All right.
So in Atlanta, we were supposed to have like a time slotted, like an hour a day to do podcast. But I'm not too sure what we're going to do, how it's going to work. We need to plan with Dan and Sean and that, and try and figure it out. And Mr. Clegg.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, if they don't give us a space, literally, we're just going to plug it in, plug and play.
There you go. So it sounds like you don't mind going back to Nashville then.
Oh, yes.
Not at all.
Going to be good fun. If he doesn't, he has a ton of air miles. I'm sure he's got loads of air miles.
Oh,
there's his secret. He's working on a prototype for a teleporter.
Yeah. Scrambled molecules.
I have to hop on to a meeting. See you guys later. Thank you very much for joining us today,
Thanks
Betty.
for joining, Betty.
Enjoy your H2O. Enjoy designing your blocks. She works for Ashley Furniture, and it's quite cool stuff there.
Okay, cool.
Like she's been a very big advocate in her area for women in engineering, and just doing cool robot things. I think her team won some leg in the what's it called? The first robotics tournament.
Oh, okay.
So her team, squares and rectangles.
Yes.
That's what she makes.
Because I met her back in early September, I think, and she was telling me where the area she's in is still kind of somewhat rural, and so she's connecting some scattered dots and getting SolidWorks the message out and about. So I was happy to hear that.
Yeah, she has good people. We had an episode with her a few months back.
It's good fun.
Yep. Cool.
And we just decided when we were all together again, we need to go to an Ashley Furniture.
Yes.
Because we don't have Ashley Furniture in the UK, but there is in South Africa.
There's one about 5 miles away from where I live.
I wonder if there's any in Nashville, Kirby.
I think we looked this up, Johnny.
Did we?
Most probably.
There's got to be.
I think there is. There was one about 20 minutes south.
There's one just on the outskirts.
I knew it. I'm just trying to find this episode with Betty Baker.
There you
go. Hanging out with Betty Baker, episode 40. Got
cool.
Abe Enright in there. How you doing, Gabe? Thank you for joining us.
Good to see him as always.
So you were telling us your wife is Japanese, and she was having what everybody else would call a mental health day.
Yeah.
What do they call that in Japan?
Well, the direct translation, because I was overseas last week, and she told me she was going to be taking several days off this week, and she put it in Japanese, and I was like, what? I could read it, but I'm like, what is it? So I put it into Google Translate, and it came out to like Laundry for the Brain Day. And it's essentially a spot on translation. Because I told her that's what it is in English, and said, yeah, that's what they say, and it's the washing, the cleansing of the your mental.
And I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of. Are there any other kind of like weird translations that you find that are just normal for her or for the Japanese, that just for the English that's just weird?
Yeah, there's not a bunch. I mean, there's some expressions you just can't really translate. They Japanese will start eating a meal and they say something which it's a saying they'll say before a meal or after a meal, and I haven't found a good translation of it after years and years of studying Japanese. It just shows appreciation and thanks for the food. It's not grace. It's not a prayer. It's just, I guess it's a way to show that who's ever the serving food or appreciating the food you're going to be eating. It's not showing saying, sorry, I killed you, cow, and I'm going to eat you now, kind of thing. It's not that, but it's just a general kind of thing. They give appreciation. So that is those are a couple expressions that are very difficult to translate. And there's some one-to-one translations that we would say the same exact thing that they say. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but then there's some
that really put you on the spot there.
Yeah, well, there's some you have to really get the explanation, like laundry for the brain. That just came across like what? But after you talk it through, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I understand.
Because there was a guy who works from Romania, and he was going back to Romania for a cousin's wedding. Mm-hmm. And where I work, we're a printing bureau, so a lot of staff just chucks things in to be printed as well. And he just printed this little like medieval house, like a D&D model house. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. What's that going to be? And it's like, oh no, he's going to give it to his friend as a wedding gift. And I was like, okay, that's quite interesting. But it's just like a plain grey from the material. So I said to him, I'll paint it for him as well, make it look really nice. But he was telling me about the reason why I was giving him this little house. He says the direct translation of it is when you say congratulations to someone in their wedding, you say to them, have a rock house. Which basically means, I hope that your marriage is going to be as strong as a rock house.
I see. Okay.
So this is kind of his way of giving him a physical object to represent that saying.
Uh-huh. Cool.
So I painted it up really nicely. It was a lot of fun for that. He gave me some beer for it.
Hey, no complaints, right?
I mean, there's an Afrikaans translation, Soti, which is short for soot peel. Afrikaans is very like expressionist. What's the word I'm looking for? It's very expressive in the way that they, have their sayings in that. So soot peel directly translates to salty penis.
Lovely.
So someone that immigrates from South Africa to another country is considered a soti, or someone that has like English heritage but lives in South Africa is a soti. But the reason why they call it a salty penis is because you've got one foot in one country, another foot in the other one, and your penis hangs in the sea. So it's just...
I feel like we've taken a weird turn.
Yes. I could go back to Japanese sayings if you want. I've never heard something so salty.
Yeah, so it's such a common saying in South Africa.
Yeah.
If you're from England or anything, you're a soti.
Yeah.
Kirby, you'll never guess what I just found on my desk.
What did you find?
See if you remember this.
I wondered where those went.
I've just got this one. I don't know where the rest are.
You'll find Betty at Miss Betty Boots in Nashville.
Miss Betty Boots.
I think this will be the year that I buy cowboy boots.
I want a cowboy hat this year.
It's taken you how long, Johnny? Like, you had your opportunity in 2019 in Dallas.
Dude, you were all over that.
I was going to Texas, and I had to have a cowboy hat. I was going to get cowboy boots, but then I saw they were $400.
My introduction to Kirby was, he's in Hooters, he's just bought a cowboy hat and hasn't been to the hotel yet.
So, Jonny and I met at 3D Experience World, or that was the last Solidworks World, 2019. He was invited across with Luke Daly through Rachel's little experiment, invite a friend kind of program. So Jonny got a free ticket to World. He just had to cover his flight and his accommodation. So he got a really cool Airbnb in
That was a good
Dallas.
Airbnb.
It was good. Had a pool table, was like open studio for what he got. Like I thought my hotel room was cool, but his Airbnb was just it was a
We ended up going there more than the Omni in the end, didn't we?
So every city I go to, I try and find a Hard Rock cafe, and I have I go and get a little shot glass. I've got, I think, about 30 of them from different cities around the world that I've been to, and I buy those same shot glasses. So I went to Hard Rock Cafe, and then around the corner was one of these cowboy shops. So I had a look at the cowboy boots and thought that's way too expensive. Got myself a little hat. And then I had to wait like 2 hours until Cad Monkey, and I wasn't bothered about going back to the hotel, because it was kind of like out of the way, and then I'd have to come back in. Then just across the road was a Hooters. So I just sat there at the bar, and I got chatting with the guy at the bar, just chatting about engineering and CAD and that stuff. And then that's when Luke messaged, was like, "Hey, where are you? We're all here." I'm like, "I'm just in Hooters. I'm bringing my cowboy hat and my shot glasses."
He just walked around with his little shopping bag for the rest of the night.
Yeah, we did karaoke. And Jonny and I had a good night hanging out. We got really drunk. And the next morning we had to do Solidworks live.
Sorry, I got a noisy dog.
It's not my dogs this time, Jonny.
It's not you this time, Kirby.
Yeah, usually it's my dogs that are kicking off.
They've been good tonight, Kirby. I'm impressed. What have you done?
What? They were at daycare today.
Oh, they've been at daycare. That's cheating.
There'd be plenty of karaoke in Japan. Is there karaoke in Nashville?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's called Narnia.
We'll take you.
Yeah, the bar is not called Narnia. It's just this cool little karaoke bar that we went to. That's just like off to the side. It's nice, it's small. So we went in there. Place was pumping, was good. Got a couple of rounds in, and then we all decided. Some of us decided, okay, we're going to take a little trip to the bathroom. And at the back of the bar, you see. This is quite a narrow bar. So you sit at the back, you see the toilets there. You think you're just going to go there. You're going to hook a right. You're right there. You go through it, you hook right, and all of a sudden you're in another bar. But like this bar is massive.
Oh, cool.
And there's people there, and you're just like, why is this bar hidden? And then like you got to go like through this bar and around the back to find the toilets, and you just got to follow these long corridors eventually to the toilets. So that's why we called it Narnia. Like this karaoke bar with another massive bar in the back. Little do we know that the entrance to the massive bar was like next to Narnia. We found that out like 2 days later. But it was a really good karaoke bar. And then we did another karaoke bar that was quite an interesting configuration. Like instead of just like a stage that everybody stands at, the stage is behind the bar. So you actually standing up behind the bartenders and singing, and it was a lot of fun. And we were there till like 4 o'clock in the morning, singing karaoke and country music. It was good fun.
Kirby, have you ever seen a nudie suit? Gabe's just pointed me in the right direction.
A nudie suit. What is a nudie suit?
Hold on, I'll...
You want to know?
Yeah.
Can you still buy a nudie suit?
Look at that.
Nudies rodeo tailors closed down. I think it's like a brand.
Dude, I want one. They look the most country thing I've ever seen.
They look so flash.
Yes, they do.
They look very like Elvis Presley like. a nudie suit. You need to get a. He's put an idea in my head now, Johnny.
I know. I want one.
Like, well, I mean, do you know what? I think it's a Canadian tuxedo. Do you know what that is?
No. Do I want to know?
Canadian tuxedo is a bit better than that.
Better than a nudie suit?
Yes.
I don't know.
A Canadian tuxedo. I'm looking at images. Whoa.
You might regret that.
Let me present a Canadian tuxedo.
Cover your eyes.
It's an all denim.
All denim, yes. Ugh. Ooh. Okay.
That is a classic country outfit. All denim. Nudies is also a great bar in Nashville, and not what you think.
Not what you think.
I think someone suggested Nudies, and I was like,
did we not go?
I don't know.
I think we went. I seem to think we went.
Matt, would you join us to go to Jack Daniels?
Yeah, I'd go. I could maybe. I mean, I might be your DD. I would try a little bit, but not enough to.
Can you drive a bus?
Oh, I'm driving a bus.
Tootsie's was good, Brad.
I think we wanted to go to Nudies, but they were closed on the Monday.
That was it. They were closed the day. We ended up in some other place.
That's how we found Narnia. We were supposed to go to Nudies, but then we went to Narnia instead.
So no, sounds like no regrets there.
Tootsie's is a good one. Tool.
We did Tootsie's.
Is that another bar?
Yeah, it was a bar. How drunk were you in Nashville?
You carried me home.
Not once, but twice.
No, once.
I wonder if Brad will be going there on his bike to 3D Experience World.
Ooh. I'm sure he'll let us know in the chat.
Yes, that'd be cool. The Iron Swug.
You know what? I really think we should try and figure out a way for us to attend that next year.
I think so too.
Because it seems like Heather had a fantastic time. I mean, you don't have a motorbike license, do you, Johnny?
No, but I'll give anything a go once.
I mean, you can ride behind me.
Almost anything a go once.
Yeah. Let's pretend that that's happening, Kirby.
You said anything.
Anything goes.
This time you can. Yeah, unless we get a car, then this time you can drive.
I want a pickup truck. That's my aim. Pickup truck.
Pickup. No convertibles.
Not this time. We need something with like trunk space. We've realized the error of our ways.
We need to be able to we need a people carrier. We need a bus. I think Dan was speaking about something about arranging the some Swuggen thing to be at the Jack Daniels distillery.
Yeah, the summit.
That'd be fun.
And I'm all for that.
Yeah. Won't have to twist your arm.
No. I will happily plan it. Yeah, Jack Daniels was interesting because I expected more of like a factory. Actually, I don't know what to expect because you look on the map, it's in the middle of nowhere. So I thought it would just be more of a touristy town. But it's not. It's just, you blink and you miss a type of town, and everybody that lives there works at Jack Daniels. And the place where they do the tours, that's where they do all the filtering of the whiskey. The whiskey is barreled and bottled elsewhere, but that's where they filter through the coals because that's where the freshwater spring is that all bottles of Jack Daniels get made. I always thought that Jack Daniels is made all around the world. That's just where it's from.
Nope.
Every single bottle of Jack Daniels, if you go to Australia and you buy a bottle of Jack Daniels, that bottle came from the spring and made in Nashville, in Tennessee. Lynchburg, Tennessee. Every bottle of Jack Daniels gets filtered through basically the process is that they make a moonshine and then they filter that through a coal. After it's been filtrated, then it goes into the barrels and then it sits there for 5 years, or at least 5 years.
At least 5, right?
But they make the coal themselves, so they burn their own wood to make the coal. And that's done by 2 people and 2 people only. So, which basically means that every bottle of Jack Daniels is made because of these 2 fellas.
Cool.
And I thought that was a really interesting fact.
Yeah, I did not know that. There's like, tacking back to Japan, there's a couple beers that are only made in Japan, but there's like a few that are like brewed out in California, for example, for the American market. I don't know about Europe, but it's like in Torrance, California, someplace.
Yeah, like Guinness it gives out licenses so it can be brewed in other countries.
Okay. Cool.
And like, for example, the British are smart with their beer marketing. For example, Foster's. It's brewed in the UK. It's made in the UK. It's a UK beer. But all the ads are filmed in Australia, and it's Australians that are presenting it. So everybody that doesn't really look deep enough think it's an Australian beer.
Oh, I thought it was an Australian beer. So I learned something today.
There's another one, Birra Moretti, I think it is, which is marketed to be like an Italian beer. It's also made in the UK.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's smart. Like, the British think they all fancy drinking their... Like, there's nothing the British love more than the foreign foods and foreign things. Like, the national food of the UK is curry.
Yeah.
Or Chinese.
Chinese, yeah.
We're good like that.
But is there, for the beer scene and the craft beer scene in the UK, what's that like? I mean, like, because of course I'm in Vermont, we have a lot of, double IPAs, New England IPAs.
It's growing.
Can you find it in the UK as well?
Yeah, you can find it. It's costly, is what I'd say.
Okay.
Like, the best way to get kind of good branded craft beer is like Brewdog. Brewdog do like a lot of, like, they have their basic ones, their IPAs and their lager that they make, but they also have a huge variety of other flavors that they experiment in limited editions, and that's kind of what they do. They focus on is they have their standards, but most of the stuff that they experiment with are very unique beers. Like, they've recently done I think a candy floss beer.
Yeah. And what was the other one I had?
The
watermelon
Farmer
IPA or something?
No, there was the Farmer Sweets.
Oh, Palmer Violet.
Yeah, Palmer Violets. That's it.
Palmer Violet IPA.
Had a pack of those the other day. So that's like a sweet that, like, the beer tastes like the sweet. It's kind of weird. You also got like Camden do a few. It's mostly just lagers and beer and Camden Hells and the Camden IPA. But wherever you go, there's always kind of you'll find a small village that will have a little place where you can buy some craft beer. It's not very difficult to come across across that.
Somewhere.
You said it was pricey, yeah, because like here, pricey for a 4-pack would be like $15. So.
That is expensive.
It's expensive, especially with the exchange rate now. It's very expensive.
Yeah, with the exchange, yeah. So, but that's some of the
maybe.
It depends, for the craft beers. Probably the range is $10 to $15. $15.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
like,
say you may be looking $12 or something.
Yeah. So I don't buy it.
Well, I mean, how much is your pack, the craft beer pack? That's actually something we have here. What's it called again? Beer 52. So Beer 52 is a monthly subscription box that you can get where every month they'll send you, I think, 12 beers or 10 beers.
We're not sponsored, but we should be.
But every month they send you different beers that you can try and info about those beers, and it's an interesting little thing, little scam. Because you try to cancel with them, and it'll take you like 3 months to cancel.
I've cancelled.
Are you sure you've cancelled? Because a box is going to turn up and they'll be like, oh, I thought we did cancel this. I see in the notes we cancelled. Let's cancel that for you. And then they're going to charge you and they're going to send you another box.
Being good with me, I cancelled 4 months ago. And I haven't been charged since. But they are paying out all my points.
See, Todd paid $18 for a 4-pack.
Whoa, that's pricey, Todd. That's pricey.
Johnny, you know how much I paid for a litre of beer in Germany?
€2.
No, not that cheap. €9.
Oh.
It is about £7, which is about $7 for basically 2 pints.
Yeah, in Portugal I can get a litre of beer for about €5 or €6. Gotta love Europe.
Yep.
Brad paid $18 for a 30-pack of PBR. What is PBR?
Oh, PBR. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Ah. You'll have seen it, Kirby. You will have.
PBR. 18
Oh,
bucks
yeah,
for 30
that's like the
cans.
most generic-looking American beer, other than Budweiser.
Or Budweiser Light.
Bud Light. I've got a can of Budweiser still in my fridge.
Oh my gosh.
And it'll stay there forever. You can get a PBR Christmas jumper.
Just what we want.
Pabst Blue Ribbon in my veins.
And that stuff was around when I was a kid. I remember that, but then it's like been rebranded as PBR.
Limited edition family pack, 99 cans.
How much?
99 cans. Right for $9.99. Or a monthly subscription.
Hey, John.
John has joined us while we look at beers. $40.
$40.
It's probably cheaper for us to ship that back.
Oh my god.
That is nuts.
That's
I mean,
nuts,
what do you call it? Brewdog's just started shipping their advent calendars, and apparently they're massive.
yeah.
Did you get one, Kirby?
I got a Lego one instead.
I like that.
PBR is standard at Crappy Beer Night at one of the local bars.
Crappy beer night.
It's the kind of beer that you just like. You've had a few good beers, you have a good buzz, and you'll just drink anything.
You start with the good stuff, and then you get on to like Red Stripe or something.
When
Pretty
you want the
much.
guests to go home, pull out the PBR.
Yeah. I've got a lovely video of Johnny carrying 4 beers away from the bar at the special event.
Such a good video. That was Nashville as well.
It was last call, and I got myself 2 beers, and Johnny just went ham at the bar, and he just got himself 4 beers. Carried them. He's like, "All right, guys, share," and we were just like, "Nope, you're on your own, Johnny."
Yeah, because no one
This is your
told me.
mistake.
It wasn't my mistake. I was being a nice guy. I thought I'd get a couple extra cans for other people who'd also all gone to the bar at the same time.
I think I saw a crowd shot picture the next day of you sitting at 3D Experience World, kind of like,
Yeah,
you drooling on
that
the
was
side
us
of a
most
mountain.
days.
Dead.
Almost.
I'm sure I can find all of these videos in a jiffy. I'm pretty efficient.
Yes.
Todd calls the the cheap drunken beer maintainers.
Containers.
I thought it said mountaineers.
Close enough.
I mean,
Maintainers.
Mountaineers.
mountaineers. There we go. 3DX World 2020. Let that load up.
Hey, Brandon's back. He's got some power.
Oh, his power's back, Brandon. How you doing? Hold on, I've got a sound for him. I'm getting to it. Hold on.
Hello there.
No, I don't. I thought I had air horn, but I don't. Anyway, this thing. 3DX 2020.
Oops.
Yeah. So this is a lovely story that goes with this. So I got up at 3 in the morning or something like that to get to the airport. We met at 5 o'clock in the morning, so we had a beer as a standard.
Beers.
I got my free upgrade. Flight was cancelled, so I lost my upgrade. 8 hours later, we got on a new plane. That's how full our plane was. So we gonna have a good fun.
Spread out.
I think Johnny built a tent at some point. 30 minutes in Philadelphia, we were shattered. We rented a car. Found out that our stuff didn't fit in the car. So we just took the top down and just put it in the back seat. Jet lag got us up early, so we went for some pancakes at IHOP.
Oh, yeah.
I love an IHOP.
Bit of country music and Camaro driving.
Country music and chill.
Got ourselves to Lynchburg. Did a pose. So this is the town centre of Lynchburg, so a nice little town square. Little gas station. Haunted looking house.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels. Yeah. It was 8 degrees outside. I don't know what that is in freedom degrees. So we dropped the top, made the music really loud. We wound down the windows, put the aircon on full whack on heat. And we teased our little magic wheelchair that we were revealing. I was very hungover there at that point. Shock and horror.
Yeah.
Talking about the reveal. Avoid distracted walking.
So how many magic wheelchairs have you done now? 2?
2.5.
2.5? Okay.
So yeah. Talking to, I think his name was Jacob.
Jacob.
Yep.
Jacob.
Unleash the Nerds. The one got trips over there. Watch him. Stack him. Oh, no, there he goes.
Down.
So this is like before the antics. So magic wheelchair stuff. Good old impact props. Did some dancing with him. There we go. Whack. A magic wheelchair that we built. I don't think I actually posted any drunk antics in this. There he is again.
You like that falling down?
Wait. Falls
Break
again.
Down. Man down.
Scoot. Geez, this is day 2 only. Doing VR stuff. There we go. That's Broadway.
On the bar seat.
So they closed this whole block of the street for the special event.
Which is what they're doing this year.
I was quite nice to you, Johnny. I don't actually publicly post any of the shenanigans that we got up to.
Sure.
202 subs. Let's go. Bacon Man's out. Thank you, John. Kirby, my shirt is amazing. Thank you very much.
Yep.
You know how long I thought IHOP was a furniture store? It's actually now IHOB. It's instead of International House of Pancakes, it's International House of Breakfast because they do more breakfasts.
It's always going to be IHOP to me.
It'll always be IHOP. IHOP is what? Doesn't make sense.
You guys go crazy for it though.
It's great. That's why I go crazy for it every time I land in America.
You know what? That was one of the best pancake breakfasts I've ever had.
See? See?
It's exactly what we needed after 28 hours.
Get up, get some big pancakes, and go and get whiskey.
No deal.
I have no idea, Todd.
Don't know. Don't know that.
Kirby?
What? Points to anyone that can name the restaurant from that Earthworm Jim cartoon. I know Earthworm Jim. It was a video. I know it was a cartoon, but I never really watched it, and I played the video game at my mate's house. So, I think it has to do something with earthworm stuff. It's going to be linked to IHOP. So, what? I wiggle. I just want to try In-N-Out. In-N-Out is so good.
A little Google. In-N-Out is next level.
But you got to have the animal fries and animal style, which is not on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, I have to check. It's International House of Haggis.
I don't know.
International House of... I wouldn't be surprised if that's some way that actually exists. Yep. International House of Haggis. Opposites Attack. Earthworm Jim.
So it's a real place?
No. It's just a... But it should be. Well, you got McDougal's House of Haggis.
McDougal.
McDougal.
Have you had haggis, Johnny?
I don't mind haggis.
You experienced it yet, Matt?
No, I have not.
It's an odd texture.
Very odd textured.
I had Rockamama's last week and it doesn't slap as hard as it used to. I've only been there like twice, Brandon. How steers. So there's a burger place that I really like in South Africa called Steers.
Steers.
It's kind of like the South African version of Burger King before Burger King hit South Africa. And Brandon is convinced that it is not the bee's knees, and I feel like it is the bee's knees.
Is it just because you miss it though?
It could be because it's not as good as Burger King.
I'm not mad on Burger King.
I'm not either. Like, I like the grilled flavor of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I much prefer McDonald's over Burger King. I think it's because I had some cheeseburger from Burger King that was like some ultimate cheese where like the bun was cheesy. It was like a orange color. And like the burger had cheese in it with like slices of cheese. It was just
nasty.
It was like eating a block of cheese. And I only like my cheese melted on something. I can't just eat cheese on its own.
Vicky's like that. I can just eat a block of cheese.
Absolutely not. I don't like the texture. So when I ate this burger, I thought it would be incredible, but it just was like eating a block of cheese. And I think that completely ruined it for me. What's this? Beer Advocate. Hetty Hopper, The Alchemist. 100% world class.
Oh yeah, that's
the state's most popular beer.
Yeah, well, the state I'm in, the state I live in, they don't ship outside of the state, so you got to kind of come in and get it, or ask me nicely to pack it in my bag to bring it to you. What's
it? Hetty Hopper. What is that? That's an IPA.
Yeah, it's a double IPA. Citrusy in flavor, very strong.
It looks really good. It's got quite a few ones. Yeah, I don't think Johnny's ever going to trust me with any of my like choices of whiskey on that.
Johnny's on mute.
You're on mute again.
My bad. Yeah, don't ever drink whiskey that Kirby gives you. That one we had at your bar that night, Kirby, was absolutely horrid. I'm
starting to enjoy it. Basically, it's a very peaty, very smoky.
It's like smoking
the best way to describe it is that when not cigarettes. It's like it tastes like when you drink it, like you're taking a piece of burnt wood and just licking it. That's how it hits the back of your throat.
It's just missing some splinters.
Makes me want to go lick an ashtray maybe.
One thing that blew my mind about the USA is that electric kettles are a new thing there. I heard something about this. Americans like to boil their water in the microwave.
What?
Or on top of the stovetop?
They've only just started to discover electric kettles.
Yeah.
Well,
we've had it for a few years. I mean, my house has had it for a few years. No,
Brad, Brad, I wouldn't be surprised if you wheeled out your barbecue and you smoked your water.
Yeah. Hickory smoked water.
Brandon, I just got one a few months ago. How come you haven't known about these? We've had our electric kettle for years. It must be like some sort of like certain areas of the States where
must be.
You just microwave your water before making your tea.
I was going to say, what uses an electric kettle for Brandon?
Well, Brandon can't because he doesn't have power.
His power always goes off.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. Brad's now going to make a cup of tea out of smoked water. I mean, that would make an interesting cup of tea.
It'd be very, very smoky Earl Grey sort of tea.
Yeah, you'd have to mix some of my whiskey and to take a bit of the kick away.
Oh, no.
Take some of the kick out.
Brandon's been through 3 kettles this year. How have you done that, Brandon?
Load shedding. Cuts out halfway through. Kills him.
Just blows them up.
One of our microwaves at work nearly blew up because someone put metal in it.
Uh-oh.
It's a good watch, though.
He didn't know there was metal in the container that he put in.
Mm-hmm. It's quite dramatic when it happens.
It's a very good watch.
It's exciting with when you put a CD in the microwave. For those kids that don't know what a CD is, that's how we used to listen to music.
Yeah. Seen the rise and fall of CDs.
Literally, and just the back end of cassette tapes. I was at my mother's house a couple of weeks ago, and she still had a VCR connected up to the TV.
Really?
And I was like, damn. Opened up a drawer below it. There were some VCRs. Pokemon the movie. And I was just like, slid it in there, pressed play, and it worked. I was like,
awesome.
This is amazing. It was so grainy and just so blurry. I don't know how you could see anything, but it was great. 2 got messed up from the borehole water. 3rd was plastic guck thing. Plastic rubbish. That's what happens when you go cheap. Just get some Russell Hobbs.
Yeah, we have like probably a dozen leftover VHS movies still sitting in our basement, and someday I should probably just get them converted over to digital somehow. Because I don't have a VCR. I mean, I think it'd be a trouble to find a VCR these days.
So, when I was doing business studies in school, one of our projects was to kind of start a business.
Mm-hmm.
So my business was, because we got this new DVD player that also recorded. Like they didn't really kick off or anything, but we got one. So literally my job was converting old home videos to CDs, which we had like about 60 or 70 VHSs of home videos that my parents really wanted to get converted to DVD, but didn't want to pay for it, and that's why we got this VCR. And at the same time as this project came up, so my parents paid me to do it. And literally, it was just I plugged the VCR in and the DVD. I pressed play on the one, pressed record on the other, buggered off for an hour, came back, swapped them, put the next one in, and I got good marks because I was one of the highest earners for my company. And because of that, now all of our home videos are converted to DVD, and now I'm at the point where like, shit, that's all going to go in the cloud now.
Yeah, gotta go in the cloud.
This time I won't get paid for it.
Pay your kids.
I thought I was absolutely winning, but little did I know that I was getting ripped off. Like I didn't realize how much I could earn doing that.
Life.
You're winning at the time.
Yeah, so I've got to do that. But I've got in my cupboard here, I've got like a little cupboard of nostalgia stuff. So I've got like a Tech Deck skateboard. There's a Rubik's Cube. Just a couple of old things. And 4 of the things, I've got a Lion King VHS. And I've got the original Star Wars trilogy in VHS.
Dude, they'll be worth cash.
They're not. Because they're not like the first edition of them. They're...
Are they after Lucas changed them?
Yeah, it's after he edited Boba Fett.
Special
not Boba Fett. Jabba the Hutt in the first movie.
Okay.
Made him look
But I think it was before he butchered it with the DVD visual effects.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like a midway point. But yeah, I don't have a VHS player to play it. I just have them. I just think it's just a cool thing to have. If I want to keep a VHS, at least it's Star Wars.
Well, I think it's difficult to find like an original cut that's on DVD or VHS, isn't it?
Yeah, they've. Yeah, Brad says he's got the pre-edited trilogy VHS. I mean, I could probably try and check them and get like a VHS player. I'm sure I can find a second-hand one on eBay somewhere. Yeah, it's just one of those cool things just to have. I mean, there's so many other stuff I could have kept, but I thought, there's a few little nostalgia type of things. I'm not keeping it to make money. I just it's the kind of thing that, like, I don't get many people that come and visit, but when they do, it's kind of like, cool.
But is the Falcon that's behind you a toy or a model?
Both.
Okay.
Depends what mood he's in.
Brighten myself up a little bit. So it is the Ultimate Collector's Lego Millennium Falcon.
Oh, it's the Lego one. Oh, okay. All right.
Everything on my shelf that way, and then behind there is the big AT-AT. There's all my Star Wars stuff, and then there's bits over there.
Okay, cool.
I've got to populate that shelf still, but there's more Lego. There's junk there, and there's more Lego down there. There's like
stuff down there.
That there is a bus from 1969, I think, or 1968. The first ever Lego bus set. Cool. I've got just some Lego. Lots and lots of Lego. And there's like more that way. There's some upstairs. There's some in the hallway. There's Lego everywhere. Not that much of a fan of Lego, but I'll buy a few sets.
No, now and then.
Yeah, every now.
Yeah.
Johnny, do you want my GPU?
Still trying to sell me things.
You want to build a PC?
Yeah, it's on the list.
There's two components for a PC that you need that you can get for half price.
Send me some details.
Ta-da. Yeah, I just upgraded my GPU and my PSU, so it's going on eBay if not, Johnny.
Did you make any mistakes?
Yes, I made a mistake. I forgot to plug back my CPU in, so I turned it on and nothing happened. I was like, shit. What have I broken?
What did I break? Brad's got a roll, so all right, Brad. Well, thank you for joining.
Yeah. When I come over, we can spend the weekend watching all the original Pokemon on VHS. We can sit super close to the screen like the good old days. Thank you, Mr. Tank. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
I think that's actually a good point to wrap it up. Hour and a half is a good episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Like I said, I gotta deliver a bike to a shop.
Exciting. A motorbike or a pedal bike?
No, it's a pedal e-bike. It's my wife's e-bike.
Okay.
She got it from a company called Rad, and I'll drop it off because we're not really riding anywhere. It's getting a little cool for our riding. I don't do like the fat tire bike riding in the winter or anything like that. So
yeah, I mean you're up north of the States. You get like
we'll have snow in the next few weeks. Next few weeks there'll probably be some snow. There's a chance to have the snow. So I don't like to ride in the cold. I prefer shorts and t-shirts for bike riding. So, but today I'll put on the gloves and my helmet and everything, and I'll just drop it off and get back home.
Brad's not ready. Brandon's not ready for us to go. Fat bike rule.
Fat bike.
Oh, the fat tires was like, ooh. You can't say that, Todd.
Yeah. So
okay, cool.
We'll see because there's a bike path that comes. Part of the bike path goes up the street I live on, and during the winter you'll see these guys and girls coming by on the fat tire bikes. I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. But I guess it's fun. If Todd likes it, it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, in the description, Matt's given me a couple of links to give you guys. How to get access to the 3D Swim platform, the Solidworks user group forum community, the Solidworks news and info community, makers, main community. Is that where everybody just posts their makes?
Yeah, they're make stuff. Yep, they're makers.
Yeah, there's the Brandon. You'll enjoy this one. There's the makers support link if you need some support with your makers edition. He's had some troubles getting started with 3D Swim and your profile on 3D Swim. So if you want to add him and bug him, you can also follow Matt on Twitter. He doesn't do the Facebook thing.
Nope, I'm not a Zuckerberg supporter at all. I'm not on Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. I was only on WhatsApp.
How will you feel when Elon Musk? How will you feel about Twitter when Elon Musk gets hold of it?
I might not be on Twitter after that. We'll see how he behaves, but he's quite the erratic person. So, I'm not too thrilled about the future there, but whatever.
I'd say buy stocks now because he's been. What I reckon is that he's been trashing it so that the stocks can drop.
Nah.
Buy stocks in Twitter now, and then when he gets it, he's going to be like, "It's the greatest thing ever." And then he's going to flog it off for profit, just like he did with Dogecoin, and I lost loads of money.
Sorry.
So, I still made a profit, but not as much of a profit.
No. So, but and also, every third Friday, I'll say we have like an AMA session in our swim. So that's on Zoom. Then you can get the invite from in the community. So if you have any questions how to use swim, I didn't have one last week just because I had to travel. But our next one will be the third week in November. Then we'll have one, I think, in December. Switch to smoke signals.
Yeah, that's how we get hold of you next time.
Yeah.
Well, you will remain a full advocate of the social media platform 3D Swim.
Yes, of course. I want a paycheck.
Yeah, like I said, Brandon can find another way how not to use the Makers Edition. Brandon, I still think that you have a lot of trouble because you're using it in a country that doesn't have it, essentially.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, there's a support link. You can try it now. See if you can get that working.
Don't tell them you're from South Africa.
Are you dropping in the link someplace? I don't see them on my side. So
they're in the description.
Oh, and just okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that one, yeah, gotcha.
So you can see that all in the YouTube description, so people can
Right.
can go back to that. And if you want to follow Matt on Twitter, it's at 3DSMJH.
Yep, that's me.
How did I get that right? All right.
Yep, you did get it right. I never remember. I just save it in my browser or on my phone. So
I'll just wait until you see what our socials are. It's absolute chaos.
It's better than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, there you go.
Yeah, if you want to follow me and what I get up to, I'm at KJ Designs 365 and everything.
At Kessel Run
Kessel
Creations
Runs.
for myself.
Yep, Kessel Runs.
This is when it gets tricky, Matt, because we chose our name as a very generic name and then didn't see what was available. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at the Core Podcast. Contact on Facebook, we are at the Core Podcast with O as a 0. On Twitter, we are the Core Podcast. Here on YouTube and TikTok, we are the Core Podcast. Twitter used to be, yay! Johnny has sounds.
Yeah.
And I've got to find the buttons to get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, Twitter was wrong, but I managed to steal that handle back. So now I just need to try to get Facebook and Instagram.
Well, is that your handle? I know they're rolling out handles on YouTube. Did you get that for YouTube? Or have you been offered that yet?
I got the email saying that we're getting our handle, and because we've got a URL ready, which is youtube.com/the Core Podcast. We're gonna get our handle as the Core Podcast.
Okay, great. Good.
So it's when you hit 100 subscribers, you're able to generate your own custom URL.
Okay.
So I think for those that have that custom URL, you're given the chance to change it as well as part of it. But they're rolling it out in stages. They're giving all their top tier YouTubers the ability to get their handles, so that people that are like keyboard warriors that get in there before like PewDiePie gets in there, which makes sense. I mean, it's good for them.
Yeah, makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, good enough to TCP gang. I need to get air horns. Sportron is just bad. I mean, see if we can try and organize for you, Brandon. You can bug Matt.
Yes, you can bug me, Brandon.
And never follow up. We're even actually dealing with it. Have you used the link from your email? I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Yep.
But yes, Matt,
I'll see I can help you out. So
Yes. Matthew, thank you very much for joining us.
No, well, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
It's been
Thank
really
you.
awesome.
Appreciate it very much. And got a beer in the middle of the afternoon.
I'm really looking forward to hanging out in Nashville now.
Yeah,
Same here.
I've got to make a list of people like
to invite.
Yeah, I mean, usually just people find us and be like, "Where's the party?"
Yeah,
a crowd does follow us. It's quite bad.
Yeah, it was unintentional, but after like the first 2 nights in Nashville, we just had random people coming up to us like, "Hey, heard you guys had a good time last night. You know, where can we find you tonight?" Mm-hmm. I was just like, "I'll text you. Yeah. We're going to this place," and just people followed us. It was great.
Cool.
So
I'm looking forward to it, and I'll follow you guys around since
just
I'm a rookie.
Yeah, as long as you bring the company card.
Okay.
So discreet, isn't he, Matt?
Yeah.
Stan's turn this year.
Community entertainment. You can write it off as that.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I plan. We got to start strategizing now. So.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me here today.
No, it's been
more than welcome.
Absolutely fun.
All right.
And thank you for everybody that's joined us in the chat as well. Yep, it's always good fun hanging out with everybody. I really enjoy instead of waiting a whole year for the next 3D Experience World, it's always good to hang out with people again in these little bursts. And I'm just waffling because I'm trying to find the outro. And I found it.
Right.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.
Thanks, Jonny. Thanks, Kirby. Appreciate it.
Thanks.